G'day guys, it's Jeff here, and today I'm out testing the Ducati Supersport S. Simon Harris has had it for a few days. He did about 250 kilometers on it. He's our Ducatisti fan and he absolutely loves it. And Chris has had a bit of a spin on it too, although he got caught in the rain on it. But Chris will be riding it today with me as well. And today we've got about a 6-hour ride planned. We've just been fanging through these tight twisties here up and down. It's all smooth, nice hot mix here at Ware Waters. And it's an absolute blast. So yeah, it's a cool looking bike. It's kind of a cross between a Panigale and some sort of sports tourer, I guess. I think it looks good, but you've got to be looking at it from the right angle. It's got a neat screen. There's a larger aftermarket screen you can get, the usual quality Ducati badge, trick LED lights, Öhlins forks, of course the Pirelli 120/70, Diablo Rosso 3 tyres, the Brembo calipers, and ABS, which is on the S version, and the standard one has SAC suspension. 11-degree Testa Strata motor. It's about 115 horsepower, and nice bit of gear, that 937cc. You got this front mounted trellis frame here, but basically the engine's a stress member, so it kind of doesn't have a frame, unlike the original Supersport bike. That's why a lot of people are saying it's not really a Supersport, but it is. It is a Supersport. Switch gears all, fairly basic and normal. You can see your top of your Öhlins suspension there, neat little dash. Most of your menu switches and all that kind of stuff's over this side. Non-adjustable clutch span, radial mount, master cylinder, adjustable clutch lever. Fair bit of leg room, but not much ground clearance from the foot pegs. Öhlins suspension, really easy to adjust. Single-sided swing arm, of course. The exhaust note's not too bad. There's no room under the seat. Just got a little toolkit there. No room for anything else, so no carrying any beer home on this baby. Pretty neat indicators. Got a quick shifter down here on the S version, and that's about it. I'll run you through the dash. So it's all pretty basic. One thing I did notice is it resets itself, as I mentioned, but so yeah, you just got your usual stuff: speed, average speed, total Ks, 2 trips, air temperature, average consumption, engine temperature, RPM max on all your DTC and ABS settings, because it's got the Ducati safety pack. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So looking forward to the test today. Let's go see how we go. Right guys, so we've been riding for quite a while today. We've been on a variety of roads. We're in the beautiful Wiseman's Ferry here. This is called the Forgotten Valley, this section of road here. And the Supersport's been fantastic so far. We've been on tight and twisty roads, we've been on smooth roads, we've been on bumpy roads and some more open roads. And I have to say it's a really good all-round package. One thing I have noticed about the bike today is even though it's a super sport bike, which you would really say it's a sports touring bike, it likes to be grabbed by the scruff of the neck and it likes to be pushed and thrown around, which is a Ducati thing. So it shares that with its Panigale sports sibling. It doesn't like half an effort, it doesn't like rolling into a turn in a relaxed, half-assed way. It likes to be braked, chucked in, and it loves that. And that's when it settles, that's when you get all your grip and your drive and cornering speed. So you've got to ride it like a Ducati sports bike, but you can do it in comfort. Now, most of you probably know I really badly broke my knee and I've had a complete knee reconstruction, and I struggle sitting on the sports bikes, and this has been really good for me today because I'm still getting that buzz I get on the sports bike, but I've got the room for my knee and I haven't had any pain, which is fantastic, especially on the bumpy roads. The handlebar position is really high, as I mentioned before. I will show you one thing that I don't really, well, I find it a surprise. At full lock on both sides, your hands balk on the fairings. You actually have to lift your finger up like that to do a U-turn. Both sides your knuckles hit. Now, I haven't seen that from a bike for a long time. So these stoppers, it's got stops down on the triple clamp. The bottom triple clamp have a lock nut and a grub screw. They're obviously not adjusted properly from the factory. So that's something that needs to be done because it's actually quite dangerous and makes things a bit hard to do on U-turns. I really noticed that on the photo shoot stops. The other thing is the gearbox. We'll get that sore point out of the way. At the launch, none of us journos could get the bikes into neutral without turning the engine off, and the bikes were brand new. This has run in, well and truly run in, this motorcycle, and this just doesn't go into neutral. You have to turn the motor off. You can't go from second to neutral, you can't go from first to neutral, you just got to turn the engine off. And although the quick shifter works well, up and down, it's still a hard agricultural shift, and there's not much feel there. There's times when I am not sure it has gone down a gear fully, and that makes me nervous into a corner when you've only got a split second to think. So hopefully they improve that for the next model of the Supersport bike. They're about the only criticisms I can think of on this bike. I've mentioned the heat. It's a winter bike. If you want the style and you want to see your engine, this beautiful L-twin 11 degree Testa Strata motor, 937cc, you're going to get hot legs, very hot legs. So in traffic it cooks you, it roasts the old chestnuts, as they say. I'm wearing, you know, full protective jeans today and skins and stuff underneath. So is Chris, and we've both been getting cooked legs. It's 25 degrees Celsius today, so it'll be a lot worse in summer. It'll be nice in winter though, so I mean, you know, you've got to take the good with your bad. There's nothing that can be done about it unless Ducati completely enclose that engine, and that's going to ruin the look of the bike. There's a lot of positives. The brakes are fantastic. There's a little bit of sponginess in the lever, but it's span adjustable. It's got a good master cylinder and the good Brembo calipers. Now the 950 Supersport, sorry, the 950 Multistrada I tested a while back had the same calipers, similar price range, and it had a cheaper master cylinder, and the brakes were, you know, not much good on that bike, as you'll read in my review. So it's good to see that Ducati put this master cylinder on the Supersport, but it's still under 20 grand, this thing. The dash is really good, easy to read. The clutch, not span adjustable as I mentioned, but the action's pretty smooth and nice. It's fairly good for a big L twin engine. Braking into corners, the engine control's really good, so you don't really need that clutch to slip into corners or anything. The slipper clutcher and all that sort of stuff does that well on its own, especially with that reverse blip quick shifter. Handling, like I said, brake it, turn it, run it through the corners. It likes an aggressive approach to turns. It loves big, long, sweeping corners on the gas. It's really competent in the tight stuff as well. And it just like needs to be thrown in and out of the corners. It doesn't like a half attempt, like I said. But in doing that, I also found it didn't seem to matter if I sat in the middle of the bike or if I hung off it. It responded well both ways. You know, obviously more comfortable hanging off. There's not heaps of ground clearance. My boots are touching down a lot, but that's the style of bike this is, and that gives you that room there anyway. So I mean, who cares? You don't need to crank this thing right over. It's not a race bike. The seat's really comfortable. It's very low. It's very, very narrow here, which makes it easy to touch the ground. I find the brake lever and all the other levers comfortable. I'm not sure what the pillion comfort or pillions sort of like, but I'm not going to test that either. Engine wise, power delivery, it's a fantastic motor. I don't know what to say. It's beautiful. The modes, I've tried all the modes now, and I definitely prefer sport. I even prefer sport, you know, just in the small amounts of traffic and stuff we've done. And then you've got urban and you've got touring. So it's silky smooth. It's got a little bit of jerkiness down low, but that's just the nature of the combustion of a big V-twin motor. But once you get going, it just pulls hard like a train all the way. Around 7,000 RPM it really starts to pick up, and it revs really quickly right through to red line. So it's a thrilling motorcycle. Really good bike, under $20,000. So now we're going to go and do some more tight and twisty roads, and we'll see how we go. So there you have it, the Ducati Supersport S. You'll also find the launch report on the standard Supersport and a bit on the S and some track stuff on there. Fantastic bike. It's definitely one of my favourite Ducatis. This and the 950 Multistrada are my favourite Ducatis. 19,990 plus on road for the red. Pretty good deal. So if you're interested in one of these bikes, get into your Ducati dealer and get on one. Go for a decent ride though, because they feel really weird at first and awkward, and it actually takes a while to get used to them. So make sure you get to go on a decent ride, because honestly, if you just go around the block on one of these or ride it around town, you won't get to appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to read the full review as well. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Comment, like, tell us about your Ducatis, and you have a fantastic day. Thanks a lot.